What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Bailey Ranking Guys, where we power rank anything and everything Bailey does in a week. I'm Paul. I'm here with Joe.
Hi, Bailey.
Hi, Bailey. The main character.
Oh, 100%. First of all, we do have to apologize that we did not get to do a power rankings last week. Just timing of things and life got in the way.
Timing, technical difficulties, who I am functionally as a person, all these things got in the way of us recording a podcast. But we are here. We're merged.
Yes.
And we have a very special merge double episode of the Power Rankings Guys coming at you.
I'm very excited.
So we've lost two people that we love. These merge boots are only going to be gut-wrenching. There's nobody left we can lose that I'm going to shrug my shoulders at. All of these are going to be gut-wrenching, but we really started out very, very rough here, losing these two wonderful guys. It's tough. It's been tough. And then, I mean, just nonstop Bailey content for 2 weeks. If you, again, I said this last time we were together, if you had told me before this season that we would be having a podcast that was just primarily about Bailey, I would be very confused as to how we got here. And yet, here we are. It's like, you know how, like, when gay guys on Twitter watch reality TV and they become obsessed with one female character?
Yes.
I feel like when Survivor Michigan blows up and millions of people watch, I feel like the gay community is going to be mothering Bailey so much.
I was literally just thinking that. I was like, Bailey's going to be mother, isn't she?
Yes. It's going to be like Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jennifer Coolidge, Bailey. Like, third on the list. She's incredible.
Yeah.
I love her. So here's what we're going to do this week. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm gonna run through a couple of my notes from the Nick Boot episode. Rip Nick. I'm so sad to lose him. I love Nick.
It was we've lost a lot of great players, but for some reason his boot for me was like extra sad.
I agree.
Because it was like he was coming back into the game. He almost won his season. He played well.
Played very well.
Until that. Literally, it was really only the idol situation that, he made a mistake on. But, like, it was just like, it was just tough. Like, all the stuff that they had to do to get the idol, and then he gets it, and it's literally in his pocket. And I'm just, like, screaming at the screen. Like, Nick, just play. Like, what does it matter?
If I had told you 2 months ago that you and I would be screaming at the television saying, please idle Sam out of the game. Please idle Sam out of the game. I would also be like, how did we get here? And yet that is maybe a little bit what happened in this episode. I'm willing to say it.
Yeah, it wasn't, it was more, I wanted Nick to be safe. I didn't want Sam to go.
We're not anti-Sam here, although I do have a note later that may contradict that. But we're not anti-Sam here, but Nick saving himself with the idol would have been insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the notes that I took for the Nick Boot episode that I'm just going to kind of rapid fire at you, kind of like Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. Stop me if anything sticks out to you.
Okay.
Just holler.
Perfect.
Cooper smirk.
Okay.
That's the first note. Andrew is in the room. Cooper and Andrew victory tour. I wish I would have been there. Lucy would have been in an insanely good spot if she didn't play so terribly the week before.
Yeah.
Kevin High School Musical OMFG. Bailey's 8 is like that. Remember Too Many Cooks when that came out?
No.
Too Many Cooks, and it was just like the intro to a fake sitcom.
No, sorry.
One person is going to listen to this, and that pop culture reference is going to land so hard, and they're going to love it. Please, whoever you are, DM me just so I know that I'm not shouting into the.
You're going to have to explain what that was to me after this.
I am. Porch Swing. I love Drunk Sam. Stereo Hearts still slaps. espionage is a larger crime or a lesser crime than betrayal.
Yes, let's stop there for 1 second.
Pause.
That was a incredible quote by Leia, and I think we might have said it to each other at that point, something about like the Leia that we love was kind of back in that moment.
Whoa.
Like, she's here to play the game.
Yes.
She's sneaking up into Cooper's room. Why are people not hiding their advantages better in this game? I don't understand. They're leaving fake idols on desks. They're putting their advantages in the top drawer of their drawer or whatever. I loved that moment, and that was the perfect quote. So I needed to make sure we stopped there and gave Leia her props for that.
It's the magic of a Saturday in Ann Arbor in the fall when there's a home football game, drinking some beers, listening to some gym class heroes, I guess, hanging out on the porch swing with your buds. This did Leia a world of good.
Yeah.
We theorized that she might need a visit from Mitch, but she just needed a visit from the greatest place on earth, which is Michigan in the fall during college football. I am repeatedly inviting Joe to the big house this fall, where we will record a live Power Rankings Guys snippet from the big house, the greatest place on earth, the greatest sports venue on planet Earth. Yes, so
I'm down.
We'll get into that.
Yes.
F Notre Dame, High Dale.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was nice.
Very good. Bailey, stop telling Sam stuff in all quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a direct quote from Bailey. Again, part of the reason that I have redubbed us the Bailey ranking guys is that it seemed at several points during this episode like Bailey was speaking directly to our podcast.
Yes.
Because at one point she says, "The person who's going to ruin my game is me." That's a direct quote from Bailey.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
So good.
So funny. Hilarious. No one in the world owns more Michigan gear than Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I own a lot of Michigan gear. I own a ton, and it's not even close. Cooper is like one of those like supermodels from the 90s who would never rewear the same piece of clothing twice, but it's just Michigan gear. It's incredible. Right. His collection, I cannot even imagine. Leia is getting wise to Cooper, which is very exciting.
Yeah. Did we talk about? I guess it maybe would have been in that Power Rankings episode if we would have done it. But like Cooper not telling Leia about the advantage, like what was?
It's bad.
Why? What's the point? No,
because it's the beginning of this episode. Because Andrew is in the room. Which I also had with, remember Libra from Big Brother 10?
Yes.
When she said I had Andrew is in the room, but in Libra voice. This is messy, Cooper.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Right. I don't understand the point of why you wouldn't tell Leia about it.
I'm starting to see what Lucy is saying about Survivor Cooper. I love Survivor Cooper, don't get me wrong. But I think there is, when he's really feeling himself, I think he gets into this like God mode, like where he feels like he's playing Survivor at a different level. Yeah. And the cracks really started to show in this episode, which there is more later actually. But do we know the story behind Adam's dog tags?
I don't believe so.
I don't think we do either. Put it on the list. I want to know about this. Yes. Adam praying, I was emotional watching that on television because it was so sincere and really beautiful that I was, and of course, like, like we're both like, not to take this to like a very meta level, but like, we're both older than Adam. Like, and we're both queer identifying people. And so like to see like young queer people like thriving, which is what Adam is doing, especially, and also like just praying and like having this like authentic, genuine moment on camera. I love Adam. Like Adam is so good. And I'm so glad he's here. Like same. I rarely, like usually when you go into an all-star season, you're like, okay, here's the people like I'm going to love. And then maybe you pick up like a Kelly Wentworth along the way or somebody like that. I don't know that I've ever watched an all-star season of a show where somebody was very off my radar and has become like my absolute favorite character.
Yeah, I could say the same thing. Like, I think in the very beginning, we were kind of like, oh, it's nice that Adam's back. Like, let's see what he can do this time. But he's taken that and ran with it.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I would
and
die
it's
for Adam. Fully would die for Adam if the situation ever arises. I'm very, very happy for him. He's incredible.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. Sam is this week's Will moment of being irate in your car, which is very funny. Frat Star Kevin is back. Scallywags is terrible.
I know. I don't like that name either.
There's also one moment where Leia is making fun of Andrew, and Brady says, Leia making fun of her ex. And I'm like, and then I watch it again, and like, because of the way the music swells, he says roasting her ex Pawnee tribe member.
Oh.
But like, I briefly had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, what? And second of all, what did Brady just say? But no, just her ex tribe member. Because I was ready to come in Andy Cohen style to this podcast and be like, this is the reunion show. I'm getting the dirt. Whatever's happening.
That would have been major.
I was going to call Sam and Ian on the phone because they're the only two guys whose phone numbers we have. I was going to be like, excuse me. Like, I'm grouping this in.
Yeah, we need an explanation.
We need some explanation. But just her ex-Pawnee tribe member. Not that exciting. Ian enjoying Cooper suffering is very funny also. Adam saying progressively gayer shit to Brady.
Yeah, that was during the challenge.
During the wall sit challenge. Adam, what can we even say at this point?
I know.
We've already I love Adam so much.
Yeah.
Brady has a super goofy laugh also that I don't think I ever noticed during his original season, but he has this like very like kind of laugh that was like sending me. I was like, how is this like Brady looks like a model. Like, let's just like, we can say it on the podcast. It's okay. I don't know if Brady's listening or not, but like Brady looks like a Greek god. And then he has this laugh that's like a 60s cartoon character that, and I'm just like, what? Like, this is very strange. Yeah. So I just thought I'd bring it up.
Love it.
So, this right of revenge advantage, yay or nay?
Horrible.
Agreed.
And I'm sorry to whoever's idea it was, but it's not. I remember now you and I were talking about maybe how to tweak it to make it a little bit more impactful, but
we were trying to fix it in our personal text thread, and I think the conclusion is that we couldn't.
Yeah.
That it was unfixable.
Yes.
No slight to production. We love production.
No. Oh yeah.
This is no good.
Right.
Why is Kevin so mean to Emily B?
Does he just like need to have one person in the game that he can just like unleash his wrath on?
100%.
And if that person gets voted out, he just needs to move on to someone else?
Kevin, be nice to Emily. You don't have to be nice to everybody, but be nice to Emily.
It was getting a little much.
I don't think she's doing badly. And it's interesting to see, especially in this most recent episode, kind of the way the cast is perceiving her being very different than the way we've perceived her. We've been very high on Emily B's game.
I know.
And I don't think we're the ones who were in the wrong here.
I don't think so either. Honestly, maybe Kevin got to me a little bit and I started to question where Emily B was, but I feel like she had a good comeback to him where he was like, she was like, you know, that might be your, I don't know how exactly she said it, but she was like, that might be your perception, but it may not be the perception like in the game or something like that. So yeah, I feel like I'm interested in that situation.
Yeah, I think we'll get more into this when we get into our power rankings, but Sarah has a list of people nobody can beat at Final Tribal Council. This is at Final 12, and her list was actually she had stars next to people and no stars next to other people or whatever. So here are the 5 people that Sarah thinks nobody can beat at Final Tribal Council.
Okay.
It's Cooper, Bailey, Nick, Rip, who's obviously gone, Leia, and Sam. Now, what's very interesting is that
Hmm.
these four people, the four remaining people, because obviously Nick is gone,
Yeah.
end up in a big alliance that is now
Mhm.
held through 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Very interesting take.
Yeah.
Because I also think there's probably tiers within that list of the Cooper, Bailey, Leia, and Sam of who beats whom if they end up there.
Yeah. I wonder if Sarah's focusing a little bit more on like their connections and
Could be.
not as much. Now they're all good players, but
Yeah.
I think like I think more people that aren't on that, people who don't have stars right now on Sarah's list also have a chance depending on who they get to
Totally.
the end with. And I actually think it's probably too early to start matching up like random final twos, but yeah, I don't think they're all unbeatable.
I don't think they're unbeatable at all by the people outside that list whatsoever. I do think that they are people who have like you said, good connections with people who will be on the jury,
Right.
and B, who have played very forward games
Yes.
thus far.
Yeah.
But I don't think that renders them as the like people you can't beat.
Yeah.
Bree is not here to make friends, which okay. I get it. This whole idol hunting thing, so good. Sharpie Gate.
Oh my gosh.
Magnificent.
So good.
I'm so sad that Nick went out this episode.
I know.
Because if Nick hadn't gone out this episode and he had de-Sharpie, like Nick and Adam had figured out how to de-Sharpie this thing and whatever, solved it, gotten the idol, and saved himself, we would have come on this episode. We would have been having a ticker tape parade for Nick at this. And truly, it would have been one of the great personal episodes of Survivor ever.
I know. And he would have taken out one of the biggest threats in the game. I know. I think that's also why I was so sad, because it was like he was so close to making this huge move. And it just didn't happen.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor Nick. I hope he's doing well.
I hope he's doing well. We love you, Nick. Let's see. There's a montage about Leia's list. There's a montage about how Emily's advantage is lame. Cooper, Bailey, and Emily, this swing to the 4 to create the 7 is just so weird to me. Why are they doing this?
Bailey.
It's all Bailey.
Yeah, we see in that episode, I think, when Cooper approaches Bailey and Emily B, I think that we're sitting there, and he was kind of like not fully on board, but he was kind of like, if you guys want to do this, like, we'll do it. I think it was just because Bailey wanted to do it.
Yes.
There's no other explanation.
And again, she gives that confessional that is directly to you and I, where she's like, I know what people are saying about me. And she just clocks what we are saying about her.
Yeah.
She's a crazy person. But, like, here's the thing. Yes, Bailey is playing crazy. Like, there's no two ways about it. But she's in the center of everything.
I know.
So what can you say?
Right. Everyone's letting her do whatever she wants. And there's really no repercussions right now.
Is this not similar to what we saw in Cagayan? I mean, I think Tony was better at holding on to information. Tony wasn't telling everybody everything.
True.
But the whole Tony thing is, I'm telling you that I'm lying about being a construction worker so you'll trust me. I'm telling you I'm a cop so you'll trust me. Swinging back and forth between groups so he stayed in the middle. I'm not saying Bailey is Adam Klein, and I'm not saying Bailey is Tony Vlachos. I'm not comparing.
You've now brought in 2 winners.
Maybe I secretly love Bailey. I don't know. Maybe
and I'm not saying it's wrong to do that, but I'm just like, first Adam Klein, now Tony. I'm like,
you know what part of it is? Part of it is just because I can't clock her. I can't.
That's fair.
So my brain is like
what's the word that I'm looking for?
I don't even have
uncomparable.
Incomparable. The incomparable Bailey. There is no analogous. There is no one on Bailey's level. She is one of a kind.
Yes.
And, true. And I love her. Also, Sam at one point says that he knows what's going on because Bailey's bad at Survivor. And fuck off, Sam. No, she's not. By the way, I texted Sam that note earlier, so I'm not being mean to Sam.
He knows it's coming.
He knows it's coming. I don't know what Codename Kids Next Door is.
So you know what's funny? At first, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Then I sort of remember the show a little bit. I don't know if I've seen full episodes, but I know it was around or on. I have younger siblings.
Sure.
So I know somebody in my household was watching it when it was on. But
I have one younger sibling who's 3 years younger than me, but I made him watch all my stuff, which is why, like, now, like we were just rewatching all of the Flavor of Loves and I Love New York. And then we were looking at the dates that they originally aired, and I was like, "Oh, you were 9. That was not great. Sorry." Of course, him being 9 meant like I was 12, so it was like that was much better.
That's not, yeah.
But yeah, I think we were a little bit older than that, but still, the point is the same.
Oh my god, that's so.
I do have one comparison for Bailey.
Okay.
Bailey is the anti-Lucy.
The anti-Lucy.
So Lucy and Bailey both were considered to be kind of like sidekick type players, like who kind of faded into the background on their seasons. Lucy was like, I can't make the big moves. Like, I can't do that. Bailey is like, I am going to seize control of this game at any cost and make a big move in every single episode. And you know what? It worked.
Yeah. I will say this too. I was going to wait till we get to our Bailey segment, although this is the Bailey podcast, so I can bring it up whenever. But if we would have done an episode last week, the one and only Bailey was going to be in the Circle of Power.
100%.
So I wanted to just make sure we say that now because it was going to happen.
She was getting off her own planet.
Yes, she had finally. To the Circle of Power. Yes, so I just wanted to make sure that was said.
Yes. I love that Erin is hosting this Halloween party. Good for her. Also, so here's my conspiracy theory for the week.
Okay.
So this episode is happening Halloween 2019, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So a big conversation around this episode, especially around Andrew and a couple other people, is that Nick has very good reads. Okay. I want to take you back in time to October 27th, 2019.
Okay.
When a certain pair of Power Rankings guys, before they had their own podcast, were just writing and submitting Power Rankings guys.
Oh, I love this.
To the Keep Your Torch Lit 3, in which we explicitly say in this message, Nick has incredible reads on the game, but doesn't do anything about them. I'm not saying you and I directly affected the outcome of Survivor Michigan All-Stars. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that's all I'm saying. October 27th. I have the date. I have it in my notes app still. It's in my phone.
Wow.
It would have been the exact week this was happening.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying.
Does that also make us responsible for Nick not playing his idol in a way? Do we bear some of that burden?
No.
Okay.
Because the person who's mostly talking about Nick's reads is Andrew, who doesn't end up voting for Nick. Because Andrew is in on the Sam and Adam plan.
Right.
So I'm not. So I don't take responsibility for that.
Okay.
I hate that it is a self-fulfilling prophecy that he really did read it. Like he did have the read on the game, but then didn't play his idol. But yeah. Okay. Cooper currently hungover is a new, which is very funny. And we got to meet our newest Survivor Michigan NPC, John. Shout out John, one of the mini roommates from If Those Walls Could Talk at that house. When we go to Ann Arbor, we have to get a picture on that porch swing. Like we have to.
Oh, that would be great.
We have to.
Yes.
Cooper out at 7. Is he jinxing himself? People are saying.
Why would it be in the episode if it didn't mean anything?
I mean, it's Ian. He's
Ian.
like this. He
is
loves
very
doing
much
this.
like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those were my episodes for the Nick boot. I don't really have notes on the Kevin boot except to say,
I know. I think what was interesting, I think what was interesting about that one was like, and I was starting to overthink the edit.
Yes.
Because I was like, this is a very strong Kevin episode. And I think I even texted you because I think I watched the episode a little bit later after it aired. And I was like, does he not go? Like it was, but I think for him specifically as a character, like I'm okay with it being more of an obvious episode because it's Kevin.
Yeah.
And you get more Kevin content.
It's kind of like a tribute show.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. So it was like one of those things where it was like, it started getting obvious. And then I was like, because I think some of the other names that had come up kind of early, I think I even texted you. I'm like, some of these people haven't even really like had many confessionals. I'm like, what? Yeah. So I was kind of like, it can't be them because they've barely been in it. So, but yeah, it was a tribute episode to Kevin. The Cavillan was out. He went out with a blaze of glory.
He gave us what he came to give us this season.
Yeah.
Like he got like not just in confessional and whatever, but like he got to make big moves. He got to play sneaky. He got to do all this stuff. Like Kevin definitely fulfilled the brief this season. Like, do I wish he could have gone further? Sure. I love Kevin. I'm on record as loving Kevin. I think he's great. I think he was good this season. I think he way improved his game from last season, whether he felt that way in the moment or not. I think he definitely improved his game. I don't think the Will boot is what caused Kevin to go home. And I don't think, I think that that's a crazy retconning of what happened by people who want that to be what happened, but it's just simply not true.
Right.
The Will boot, Kevin would have been hard pressed to make it past this point for lots of reasons that don't involve Will.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And Will would have been hard pressed to make it past this point for reasons that don't involve Kevin. So I just want to dispel with that as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it was a bad move. I don't necessarily think it was a great move, but I don't think it was a bad move.
Yeah.
So what we're left with is this final 10. And so what I want to do is do our first official full power ranking. Go back to where we started. Go back to 2019 when this was filming. Go back in time and put together a proper power ranking.
Wow.
So there's 10 names here. I want to touch on all 10 names before we put together a power ranking. So let's just go through and talk about some of these people.
Okay.
Let's start with Cooper. Of course.
Cooper, yes.
Good game so far.
Yes.
Hard not to like what Cooper's done so far. Came in with a big target on his back, but also well connected.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those catch-22 things where, yes, he name-wise, strategically, one of the 5, 4, 3 biggest targets in this game. Certainly. But came in with a lot of friends.
Yes.
He came in kind of as the only person who really knew everybody playing from his hosting and playing connections. Do we feel like he's made the most of that?
I'm going to say not fully.
Okay.
And I don't even know if I have any specific examples, but I think playing a game where you have a lot of connections or have friends, if you focus a little bit too much on the people that you already know, you can kind of lose sight of some of those other opportunities that might have arisen. And I think that's why I'm giving that answer. And again, I don't know if I can even specifically point anything out specifically, but did I just say specifically like 3 times?
You did. It was very specific.
But so I think that, and like for me, it's like how far is the connections that he has? Like how far is that going to actually take him?
Yes.
And who of the connections are going to be able to separate their connection or friendship with Cooper and see him as the big threat that he is and actually make the move to take him out? So he's kind of in this weird like in between for me where I could definitely see him going all the way, but I could also see him getting cut in the next few rounds just for being such a big threat.
Mm-hmm.
And really only having probably Leia as the only person as of right now that wouldn't actually write his name down.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
The thing about Cooper's game is, like you said it perfectly, when you come into these games with a lot of friends, you kind of end up in a weird position. I do like this Cooper, Bailey, Emily B thing. I like that it's not built in, that Leia's not a part of it, Andrew's not a part of it. I like Cooper meeting with Megan. I like these things. Here's my problem. There are scenarios where Cooper makes it to the end. I don't think he's one of these super big targets that like could never ever do it in a million years. He is going to have so much blood on his hands by the time he gets there, if he gets there, because he's got this Bailey and Emily B thing. He's got Leia, obviously. He's got Andrew, who obviously, he's got this thing with Megan now. He has this very complicated relationship with Sarah.
Yeah.
There's no way Cooper makes it to the end without slitting some throats.
Right.
And I think that is kind of the tough position that he's worked himself into, because the pre-merge has gone so well for him, as far as he has not really lost a lot of people who were going to be big Cooper people, you know, at this point. So things have gone very well for him. The problem being now, there's no way he gets to the end without it absolutely being a bloodbath.
Right.
I don't know. But he's played well so far.
Yes.
Good with where he's at. Interesting path to the end.
Yep.
Sam.
The magician.
I
don't think I've ever seen anyone. Is that grammatically correct? I feel like I'm just like saying things.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone.
Okay, sorry, that sounded weird.
But you have to finish the sentence because I don't know. I'm not that good.
You can't read my mind yet, Paul?
Almost.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone escape make these huge plays that we saw earlier in the season and walk away unscathed. And also, how many votes now has he escaped?
A lot.
I think I almost need a second hand to count. So like that in and of itself is incredible. I don't know. How does he have enough tricks up his sleeve to go all the way to the end? I would love to see it as a Sam fan, but I just don't know. I feel like the magic is going to run out at some point. And I hate to say that, but
it's true. I mean, Sam, as far as up to this point, up to the final 10, I don't know that I want to say Sam has played the best game, but he certainly played the biggest game up to this point. He has the most moves. He has the biggest resume.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking at it kind of from an objective standpoint of who may be the front horse at this point, it might be Sam. Not in like most likely to win the game based on how we understand Survivor, but in the best resume so far, it's Sam.
That makes sense. Yep.
Sam, I think, is the least likely of the of the Sarah's can't beat list or kind of the front runners list. I think Sam might be the least likely to get there, simply because I don't know that there's anybody here that wants to sit with Sam at the end.
Yeah. I mean, even Adam's sort of starting to kind of play his own game.
Adam does not want to sit with Sam at the end.
So, yeah, that is a good call.
Adam might want to sit with Sam at the end less than a lot of these people, because Adam has a better shot even against Cooper, Leia, Bailey than he would against Sam specifically.
Yeah.
Nobody here wants to take Sam at the end. So barring just the most magnificent game of Survivor we've ever seen, some sort of Mike Holloway thing, or a third option that I haven't even labeled yet, I don't know how Sam gets there.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to watch him try.
Same.
Leia.
I feel like we've been back and forth with Leia.
I am still back and forth on Leia.
I think she's had some great moments. She's had some not great moments. The Leia's list thing, I just...
it does nothing for me.
Yeah,
it's bad.
You can't go into a merge and have like 5 or 6 people that you're never going to vote for, because if your goal is to go as far as you can with all of your friends, you're going to be forced to vote for them at some point. So I don't like, sometimes I'm like, okay, she's like trying to play it to win, maybe.
Yeah.
But then other times I'm just like, I don't fully understand what her end goal is.
I agree. I don't know. I'm not in Leia's head at all. I don't know what's going on. She's, from a strictly game perspective, she's in a good spot.
Yeah.
She has a real chance to make it to the end because she's playing behind Cooper and Sam. And the longer she can keep both Cooper and Sam in the game, the better for Leia. I think the problem is socially at this point. Are there enough people who are going to vote for Leia to win the game? If she's there against over half of these people.
Yeah, I think she'd have a tough time.
Just because I think people are really turned off by the Leia's list thing, and by kind of how very vocal she's been about it, and how it's come across to people.
Yeah,
I think is very off-putting. And I think there's a lot of people here who would vote for, I'm not going to say anybody over Leia, but a lot of people over Leia.
Yeah.
So she's in a good spot. Could we be seeing Leia deep in the game? Absolutely. I think we probably will be seeing Leia probably I'm going to say, I think we'll see Leia in the finale.
Wow.
I don't know that Leia can win.
If she's in the finale, that means she has to vote off multiple friends. And I don't know if I see that happening.
I just don't know, especially not without being very kind of like demonstrative about it in the way that she was with Lucy and Andrew, and in a way that like is just very a turnoff to people.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Bailey, it's time. Settle in.
Bailey.
I think what I want to do is focus this conversation in on one thing.
Okay.
How does Bailey win Survivor All-Stars? But we've talked about Bailey a ton.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about her a ton. But the way the season is going, it seems like we really are going to be the Bailey ranking guys and just talk about her all the time, because she is the main character at this point. She has flipped. She has flopped. She has flipped back. She has flopped. She has perfectly analyzed her own game and then done nothing to improve it. She at one point is saying, I'm not just going to run and tell Sam and Adam about the 8. And then in the next scene is telling both Sam and Adam separately about the 8, which is, first of all, a genius editing moment. Just absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
What does Bailey have to do to win Survivor?
Her game is just so confusing. I don't even know if I have an answer. I think at this point, it's almost like, as long as she's making a move with enough people that are okay with the move and are okay moving forward into the next week with her, it seems like she could keep gravitating to like a certain number of people to make a move and then continue moving on in the game as other people get picked off.
Yes.
If she makes it to the end with this strategy, genius. Can she articulate that well enough at the end and explain that this was on purpose? I don't know, because I don't think it's Bailey going in being like, this is how I'm going to play the game and it's my strategy. It's almost just like Bailey's in the game playing her way. So I just don't know. I don't know.
It's very seat of her pants.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like she came in going, I'm going to do this very specific thing.
Right.
It feels like she came in saying, I want to play big. I want to make up for what I did last time. And she's done it.
Yeah.
Yes. My other problem with the way Bailey has played is she has made these groups and swung back and forth and all of this to take out Nick and Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I love both of those guys. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And Nick was on Sarah's list of threats,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
don't want to diminish that. But like, also,
Right.
I don't think taking out Kevin was a good move for Bailey at
No,
all.
I don't think so either.
Whatsoever. I don't think anybody is going to look at that as a big move,
Right.
taking out Kevin.
Right.
And so my fear is, okay, now they're already talking about Andrew next week. They're talking about Megan. If Bailey puts all this together to take out Nick, Kevin, Megan, Andrew, Sarah, I love all those people. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, nobody is going to respect that until she says, it's got to be Sam. It's got to be Leia.
Right. Right.
Um,
It's almost like she's just picking the safest option each week.
yes, which it's not working.
No.
And that's my fear with Bailey is eventually Bailey has to sit with one or two people at the end that she can beat. Do I think Bailey beats Emily B? Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think Bailey beats Brie? I do. Do I think Bailey beats Megan? I do.
Mm-hmm.
Even Sarah, I think she does. As much as I like Sarah's game, and I don't think that's a home run, I think she beats Sarah. I think she beats Andrew. Like, I think anybody who's like outside of the Leia's list people, except maybe Adam, I think she's got a good shot against.
Mm-hmm.
She got to stop voting these people off.
Yeah.
So, again, Bailey is an enigma.
Right.
I'm high on her.
Yeah.
I'm critical of her. I don't know what to say.
It's I like that she's in this game because it's
yes.
I don't think we've ever puzzled over someone
Never
in Survivor Michigan before in this manner. So it's actually like giving us a little bit of a challenge, which I like.
Bailey can win Survivor Michigan All-Stars.
Yeah.
Will she? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Adam. Love Adam.
Love Adam.
Adam's amazing.
Yeah.
Can Adam win Survivor Michigan without directly cutting Sam?
Gotcha.
Does Adam have to directly cut Sam in order to be able to win Survivor Michigan? Is he drawing dead in any other scenario besides that?
I think if Sam goes, here's the thing. I don't see who did well, we're rusty this week.
Yes.
Who did Adam vote for in the Nick Sam vote? Nick. Okay. If Sam gets voted out not by Adam's hand and Adam makes it to the end, I think he has a good shot.
Okay.
If Adam is a driving force in getting Sam out, then makes it to the end, I think that obviously increases his chances because he can then either claim or say that he was a part of that move. If Sam gets taken out and Adam has voted with Sam and it's incorrect, I think that diminishes his chances.
I agree.
If he gets to the end. So hopefully that answered your question.
That's exactly the analysis I was looking for.
Perfect.
Because I agree. I think Adam is playing a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Adam has the skill set based on what we're seeing in confessional, based on what we've seen from him on Twitter. I think Adam has the ability to explain his game well.
Yes.
If he were to make it to a final tribal council.
Yeah.
I think that there is a very strong perception in the game that Adam is Sam's lackey.
Yeah.
Which sucks because Adam has played a much better game. Adam deserves better than that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. He's at least aware of this and is starting to try to distance himself, which is good. That's a good thing. It's still early in the merge. Like, if
there's a lot of time, there's a lot of moves to be made.
So I think if he gets to a point where he can help take Sam out or whatever, and then gets to the end, I think that's great for his resume.
Agreed.
On top of everything that he's already done. But again, he is kind of shrouded in this sort of Sam shadow. So that is unfortunate, but if he gets Sam out at the right time and then still makes it to the end, that's great.
I'm with you. Brie.
I love Brie.
Me too.
I don't know if I'm seeing enough from her.
We got a whole montage about Bree's not playing that hard.
I know.
Which is never a good thing on Survivor when you get a whole story beat about how somebody is not playing that. I think Bree, and I hate to say this because we're at Final 10, I think Bree might be in that drawing dead spot
I
that we have come
know.
to see on Survivor Michigan. I don't know. Because in order to win, Bree would have to really pull off some moves at this point.
Yeah.
And who does she have to do it with?
I don't even know.
I don't either.
Weren't her and Nick supposed to be really close? I remember being confused by that.
At some point, I thought they were very close, but then Bree's not here to make friends, and she'll vote off her friends, which is fine. Except like I'm not here to make friends, by the way. Because I get why on the surface it makes sense, but also voting out your friends is not like to use internet slang, like it's not the flex you think it is to vote out your friends. Like the same thing with Bailey and Kevin this week.
Yeah.
Like the voting out your friends is not the flex you think it is. Voting out someone who's probably never gonna vote you out, or at least never gonna lead the charge of voting you out, is not a good play.
Right.
And so I love Bree. I hope we see more from Bree in the future couple episodes. I don't at this stage. Not great, Bree.
Yeah.
Emily B. Both of the last two episodes, and granted, a lot of it is at Kevin's hands. We've gotten a lot of negative Emily B content.
Yeah.
Which I hate.
Yeah, I don't like that. And I think it started to like sway me in a weird way.
Kevin.
I know. He's gotten to us.
Frat star Kevin, that's what it is.
I think it's like, and again, our perception is what we see in the show.
Yeah, most improved player, Emily B.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like our reads have been pretty good in the past.
Yeah. I mean, we got Nick voted out.
Yeah,
I'm kidding, by the way.
I think there is still a question mark on Emily B for me. I think she is playing more than she was her first season. Is it necessarily better? I don't think I know yet. I don't know if I can necessarily answer that. I think she is like meeting up with more people. She does have some good connections.
I think it's better. I'm gonna officially say that she is playing better.
Okay.
I love this thing she has with Cooper and Bailey. That is good.
Yeah.
I wish she had done more with this idol search by herself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, although
I didn't like that she was telling people and like, I'm gonna feel bad.
She went for it, like went for the idol and like couldn't find it, and like I wanted her to go harder on that, and I wanted her to be a little more ruthless. But again, I also don't think you have to be that person to win Survivor. No, like I think some of the things that people have criticized Emily B for, we loved Mallory for.
Right.
And so I'm not like the very strong social game as opposed to the emphasis on the strategic. Like that's what Emily B has. I think she's good. My worry is her castmates' perception of her.
And I was just gonna say that because I on one hand you can kind of use like especially Kevin's comments at Tribal, like you can kind of use that to your advantage and be kind of like, I'm just kind of like here floating along. But if that perception gains momentum and people start thinking it, believing it, like she'd really have to pull out some major moves at the end and really sit next to like Bree and I don't know, some Leia, maybe I don't
Bree
know.
And Leia, maybe Bree and Megan, maybe something like that.
Like she would need to ride that perception, but then make the big moves to have on her resume and then sit next to the right people to do it. And I think that's a tough road for where she's at right now.
I think her road is narrowing.
Yeah.
But like, I think I can easily also pitch you a scenario where Emily B plays the idol correctly and makes a big move with the idol. Emily B, I also hate that she told people what her advantage is. Hate it.
Same.
Don't do that, Emily B. But I think there's some way where she rides out this Bailey and Cooper thing and then is able to kind of triumph out of that. Maybe she stabs both of them in the back. Maybe just Cooper plays the idol correctly. Some universe of that where Emily B could be in a good spot in the finale.
Yeah.
So yes to Emily B. I'm not letting Kevin change my mind. I still like her game thus
Perfect.
far. I still think she's good.
Yeah.
I am not going to be dissuaded by a frat boy ever again. Not
Learned your lesson the hard
learned
way.
my lesson for a different podcast. So yes, I'm still good on Emily B. I got to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
So now we get to these three outcasts. They're not in Bailey's. Well, they were in Bailey's 7. They were in Bailey's 8, but they're not in a real alliance.
Who can keep track
Who
anymore?
can keep track? Sarah.
Love Sarah, obviously.
Love Sarah.
I think I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about Adam, but like I think I could probably say Adam and Sarah are the two people whose games have been most fun to watch this season.
Yeah.
For where they were the first time. And obviously Sarah was the first boot. The Michigan world has not seen what Sarah is capable of. And I'm so glad that they're getting that now.
Agreed. Totally.
We know,
yes,
but not everybody knows.
But I'm glad she's getting her flowers.
Yes.
Totally.
She is in this kind of weird spot, like losing Nick. She's kind of on the outs in a way. But like, I think, again, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but it's like Sarah finds her way out of these situations. So I'm not ready to count her out.
Yes. Sarah's an extremely tough, scrappy player. It could have been her several times. Like we said about Sam, there were several different times that it could have been Sarah, and it hasn't been. She's still here. So I like that about her. Again, I like that she has kind of inherited the Nick thing if she has very good reads on the game. Somebody has to pick Sarah up at this point.
Yeah.
Because Sarah doesn't have the social capital, I think, at this point to create anything. So somebody is going to have to pull her in, and then she's going to have to build from there.
Right.
Because these three, less Andrew, which we'll talk about when we get to Andrew, but specifically Sarah and Megan, are in just such a terrible spot.
I know.
Because there's really everyone in most people in the 7 feel very content in the 7. And so there's not a lot of reasons to pick up Sarah or Megan because they're both really good, strong, dangerous players. I'm nervous for Sarah at this point. I know she's got the skill set. It's not a matter of that. It's kind of this draw that she's in.
Yeah. I think it's one of those situations where like you pick off a couple of people at the bottom, and then the one or two that are left, the people in this big alliance are like, hey, this is my time to kind of break away from this alliance, pick up these people and make a move. So like if Sarah can escape another vote or two, I think that's like what you were saying, like somebody will pick her up for that. And if
Sarah's in at the final 8, she's going to be in good. If say it's Megan that goes this week, and then somebody from the 7 gets picked off some way at final 9, and she's there at final 8, watch out.
Yeah. So I think that's my like hope for her is that escape another vote or two, and keep building the connections, and somebody will need to make a move and will need a vote. And Sarah would be the perfect one to do that with. Yeah.
And I kind of feel the same way about Megan. Moving on to Megan. She has this thing with Cooper that I think is sort of real, but may serve her well. I hope serves her well.
Yeah.
Megan is just in a rough spot.
I know.
And it sucks. I love Megan so much.
It's so crazy, her like trajectory in this game.
Gosh.
It's been wild. And I really thought with Jackson going, she kind of faded in the background a little bit for like an episode or two, but now I know I'm nervous for
this
Megan.
This Bailey flip really specifically screwed Sarah and Megan.
I know.
Very much.
I don't like it.
I don't either. I love Megan. Again, she's scrappy. She's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know that she has the toughness that Sarah has.
I know.
I know that she is tough.
Yeah.
We'll see. I hope it's not Megan this week. I hope something interesting happens, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, I know. I had that feeling in the last episode.
Yeah. And then lastly, Andrew. in a very weird spot.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way. Like in a kind of similar situation to Sarah and Megan, but I feel like he's in a better spot than them in some ways. And he's is he in one of Bailey's alliances? I can't keep track.
No, he's out of all the alliance. In fact, he's
okay.
the one when the 7 is meeting and they're talking about voting off Kevin. They're like, "Can we please make it Andrew next week?"
Oh,
because
that's right.
He's cocky.
Yes,
Andrew
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't know. Like, also, like, I think part of the Andrew is cocky story is like Andrew is having more fun, I think, than other people are having in this game, which I think to the people who are like really stressed and like pulling their hair out can read as arrogant and cocky, but I don't necessarily I'm not getting that from Andrew. I know we had like several different like story moments like the Andrew is cocky, but I don't know that I ever really bought it.
Yeah, I was a little confused by it too.
Andrew,
right?
Which I do. I like Andrew. Obviously, Andrew, I wanted to see him play again so bad. Of course.
Love that he made the merge. I think his relationship with Cooper is what's helping.
Agreed.
Because Cooper's not going to use that advantage to save Andrew and then just let Bailey's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 just take him out. So I think that's going to be Andrew's saving grace is his relationship with Cooper. So I think that's why I see him a little bit above where Sarah and Megan are, because I can see Cooper, what's the word? Like sticking his neck out more to save Andrew.
I totally agree.
Than maybe he would do with Sarah or Megan.
Totally. Andrew needs to start winning some of these challenges too.
Right.
Looking at the board here, Sam and Andrew, and Cooper too. Cooper's very good at all the little carnival gamey things that they did in season 1. Start winning some challenges, homie.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for Andrew, like that it's on the board to like win a couple of these challenges, and he's just been like a non-factor.
Yeah.
In a lot of these.
Although I love that Megan won, Bailey won.
Of course. Who doesn't love Megan and Bailey?
Yeah.
But come on, dude.
Yeah, they need to get some immunity wins.
Okay, so do you want to start from the bottom up or do you want to start from the top down?
Let's start from the bottom up.
Okay, so at number 10, I think it's got to be Bree.
Yeah, I have Bree there. It was very
love Bree.
Difficult to do that.
Bree is not. I want to clarify an earlier comment. Bree is not drawing dead at this point. She is just in the worst spot to win the game of these 10 people. Right. And who knows? Bree can make a deep run. Yeah. But our power ranking is not based on who can make the finale. It's who can win the game at this point.
Right.
I think Bree is the furthest from that right now.
Yeah.
Okay. 9.
I'm going to move someone down that I had up.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Megan?
Yeah, I have Megan at I think Megan at 9 is it's horrible.
She's never been that low ever.
Never. This is the power rankings guys first. But it would take Megan is one of those people who is the opposite of Bree. Bree is poised to potentially make a deep run, but probably can't win. Megan, if she were to be able to find a way to make a deep run, could be in a good spot.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's going to be tough.
I know.
Okay. In 8.
This is where it gets a little strange. Why don't you say who you have?
I have Sarah at 8.
Okay, yeah.
I love Sarah. This is not an indication of my love for Sarah when she listened to this podcast. Sarah, we love you. This is not an indication of our love for you, which is deep and all-encompassing. But how does Sarah make the end?
I put her at... Oh, Paul? Uh-oh. Okay, we just lost Paul. Let me see what is happening. Well, this is a power rankings first. Paul has been removed from the from the podcast. Well, I was just going to say that I had Sarah at number 4, so don't tell Paul that. Just because I know Sarah can make it far in games, so I think I'm a little bit biased in that, but he's not here to hear that. So how does this affect the power rankings? We will soon find out. I wonder if his phone died. Sorry, y'all, for the dead air. Do I keep going? Do I not? I'm now just the power ranking guy for the moment. Maybe I'll keep going. The next person that I have is actually Emily B, which I don't think he's going to be very happy about. But as we spoke about before, I think she is definitely playing better this season, but we really need to see a lot from her moving forward to not only make it to the end, but have a great chance at winning. And I think it's a little bit of a tough road for her. I think above Emily B, I put Leia. As we spoke about, she is in a good spot, but there's 5 or 6 people that I can't vote for. I think that's going to catch up with her. And can she get to that point? If she's there with all of her friends, can she start voting them out, stay in game mode about it, and then get to the end and plead her case and win? I don't know. So that's why I have her kind of low there. Okay, next, I'm actually going to put Andrew. I think that, like we said, he's in a better spot than Megan and Sarah. And I think his relationship with Cooper is really what's going to save him in this game. And I think he's in sort of like an opposite situation with Adam and Sam, where Adam is being perceived as sort of Sam's shadow, or however you want to put it. I think Andrew is sort of like that with Cooper, but I don't think many people know about it. So if Andrew can keep playing that up, I think if he can get to a point where he either cuts Cooper or Cooper gets taken out and he still makes it to the end, I think he has a really great shot. So that's why I have Andrew there. Okay. Oh, he's back. Oh my, Paul, what the heck happened?
So my phone fully died. So now I'm plugged into the charger instead of headphones.
Okay. I guessed that.
And I'm now in my bed, by the way. So
I kept going with the power ranking so I can catch you up on where I'm at.
Go for it.
So when your phone died, I had Sarah at number 4. But the reason why I did that was because, again, we're biased. We know Sarah makes it far in games. So if we can maybe compromise with that, you had her at 8, I had her at 4. Maybe we can put her in the 6 or 7 spot.
Deal.
After Sarah, I had Emily B.
Okay.
Kind of said the same reasons that we talked about before. Like, she is playing better than her first season, but I think she really needs to make some strong moves and get to the end with a very select group of people to really have a great shot at winning. So that's why I had her next in the list. After Emily B, I actually put Leia, just because of the whole Leia's list thing. I think, if she does make it to the end with a lot of her friends, is she going to want to vote them out? Like, how is that? Is she going to go on another tirade about how Survivor's awful and yada, yada? Like, I don't know. We get these glimpses of like Leia, the Survivor player. Then we get glimpses of Leia as the anti-Survivor player. And it's like, which Leia are we going to get as she moves forward in the game?
Yeah, I fully agree. And again, you said it perfectly. Who can Leia beat? Can Leia win? Is the jury going to be so turned off by Leia that they'll vote for anybody but Leia? I think these are all possibilities, so I don't think we can have her any higher than that spot, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think I put Andrew next. I actually swapped him with Bailey. I had Bailey first, but I swapped them. As we mentioned, Andrew's sort of in that same sort of bucket with Sarah and Megan, but his relationship with Cooper, I think, is what's going to save him and get him further. And I think, and the other thing that I mentioned, which I think you would like this comparison, is like he's almost like the anti-Adam, as far as like Adam is perceived as this like shadow of Sam. Andrew is sort of like that with Cooper, but I don't think a lot of people know that. So I think he can play that up. And then if he's able to take out Cooper at some point, or at least get to the end without Cooper in some way, I think that gives him a better shot at winning than if like he was there with Cooper, let's say.
Totally agree. I think for Andrew, it's almost like a win condition. There's no way he beats Cooper in the end. 0% chance. But can he get there without Cooper? Can he have some kind of hand in taking out Cooper and some of these bigger players? Can he be kind of this rising from the ashes of these outcast players? That would be a good spot for him.
Yes.
So who's that? That leaves us Cooper, Sam, Bailey, and Adam?
Yes.
Okay.
So I moved Bailey, I guess, technically up into 4 if I move Sarah down a couple spots. She's in a great spot. She's able to, I think now, okay, there we go. She's sort of making these moves. We won't call them big moves because we talked about before. She's kind of taking out some people that she could have probably beat in the end. I don't know how long the Bailey magic is gonna last, and I think she needs to start figuring out who the big threats are to her, whether they're her allies, her friends, or not. Take some of these people out, get to the end, plead her case, tell people that this was all the Bailey plan all along. It's just, will she do that or not?
Yeah, hot take. I actually had Bailey at number 1. I'm not joking.
And this is why you named the podcast after her.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And here's why.
Wow. Okay, I love this.
So Bailey is playing behind both Cooper and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey has been in an alliance with everyone in the game.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to the final 12. Bailey has been in alliance with every single one of these people. If Bailey sits at the end, which, given her threat level, she's not in the top 2 biggest threats to take out, but she's also connected to everybody. If Bailey can make it to the end, I think basically just without Sam and Cooper. And I don't think she necessarily inherently loses against either of them, but I think if she makes the end without Sam and Cooper and says, hey, remember when we were in an alliance, the whole jury? Remember when you voted with me this week? And remember when I voted against you that week?
Yeah.
And remember when I voted correctly every week? Remember that?
Yeah.
And remember when when Sam thought I was terrible at Survivor and now I'm here and he's not?
That's a great case right there.
But again, I don't know if Bailey has that case. I don't know if Bailey's making that case in Final Tribal Council. I don't know if she's able to do that. But I'm saying from an outsider perspective, just looking at Survivor from a nuts and bolts perspective, Bailey has a great case to make if she wants to make it. And I think whereas both Sam and Cooper have better cases to make in the Final Tribal Council, I think she is 50 times more likely than Sam or Cooper to make it to the Final Tribal Council.
Okay, I like that.
So,
cool.
Interesting. So now we have, we haven't talked about Adam yet.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, I had Adam at number 1.
Oh, tell me more about that.
I think in a sort of similar, some of the stuff that you said about Bailey, almost like the Bailey, Sam, Cooper 3 that Kevin calls out, biggest threats, yada, yada, yada. I think if he can play it right, again, he's already starting to distance himself from Sam a bit. I think if he can kind of hide behind those bigger shields, either actively or indirectly take them out and then get himself to the end with the right grouping of people, I feel like Adam would give us a very strong final tribal. Like, we can just tell that from his confessionals, like the type of person that he is, that we see him in the game. I think if he gets there with the right people, I think he'll be able to articulate his game from beginning, middle, and end very well at the end. So I think if he can get himself there, especially cutting Sam at some point, I feel like he has a great shot.
I think the big pro Adam argument is that his threat level is low. I think everything you said is correct, obviously, but I also don't know that anybody has clocked that yet. And so I think people are more willing to take him closer to the end and take him deeper in the game because they're not thinking about him in that way yet. And I think that's the big Adam winning the game argument is he's one of those guys that you won't realize what a threat to win the game he is until it's too late.
Yeah. And I love that he did that thing. I forget if it was in this last episode or the one before. No, I think it was in the one before, where he, like, people were talking about, oh, let's take out Adam to weaken Sam. And it's like, just take out Sam.
Yes.
So I love that
I agree.
he played into that and kind of got the heat off of him with that sort of, you know, I feel like we see that a lot in these shows. Like,
Yes.
oh, let's weaken. It's like, if the person doesn't have immunity, just take them out. Why are you weakening them? So I loved that. I wanted to call that out too.
Yeah, I agree. And then that just leaves Cooper and Sam.
Yeah. I had... Go ahead.
No, I was asking, who do you have on top in that duo right now?
Right now, Cooper is above Sam for me.
Agreed.
I mean, Sam has been more of a target this season. He's used his wizarding ways. That he actually called himself a wizard in this episode, which I think was directed at us because we've been calling him a magician. I think just because his name is out there more, I think Cooper's relationships are a little bit stronger than Sam's. So I think if we could bet on who of the two might go first, unfortunately, I think it might be Sam. So that's why I have Cooper above him on this.
I agree. I have Cooper above Sam as well. Although I do want to say, I think Sam has outplayed Cooper so far. I think he's played the better game, but I think Cooper is in a much better spot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Sam, you know, barring Jackson nonsense, Sam should have had Cooper. He should have had Cooper out.
Yeah, yeah.
And Cooper couldn't hold together this Bailey 8 to get Sam out. And so I feel like, whereas Sam not taking Cooper out was through weirdness, Cooper chose not to take Sam out, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah.
I think Sam has the better game, but Cooper is in such a good spot if he doesn't screw it up.
Yeah. Do you think, though, if Cooper would have went, as much of a big move as it would have been, do you think, though, that strengthens Sam's game? Like, I think it actually, now that a couple weeks have passed, it may have actually helped Sam, because Cooper's also this big target. Like, Sam could have been taken out first merge boot or something.
Yeah, I see your point, and I do agree with it. I think it's just kind of the way things shook out.
Yeah.
That, yes, it ended up being a good thing for Sam. I think that having that other threat in the game has been good. And then, of course, not being able to plan for the Bailey of it all. And both Leia and Bailey, really, the two of them, Leia and Bailey, being able to hold Cooper and Sam together, as well as they both have. And I think that's credit to both of those women hugely, that they were both able to say, no, we're in this.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive. So, yes, to your point, but also credit to Bailey and Leia for that as well.
Yeah,
because it just as easily could have been a San Juan del Sur, a Jeremy and Josh, where they both go early in the merge.
Yeah,
but it hasn't, thanks to Leia and Bailey.
Yep.
So interesting. All right. Well, we sort of did it.
We did. You will need to watch this back. So the whole time you were gone, I felt like this will probably be too. Here's a pop culture reference that you probably never thought you'd hear, but I sort of felt like when, oh my gosh, what was her name? Ashley Simpson on SNL.
Yes.
When like the music gets
great reference
up, and then
that
she
doesn't
just starts
at all,
like doing the hoedown because she doesn't like. I sort of felt like that, but I pulled it together. I kept going with the rankings. I think I held it together okay as the power ranking guy for like 10 minutes.
This might be the best episode yet. Either that or it's the episode where we get a call next week like, hey, you guys have not been renewed
for the
end of this season.
No, this is what happens when we take a week off.
Yeah,
either all hell breaks loose or we have the best content that we've had ever.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the DMs. Let us know what you think about. I have people been commenting on like the YouTube stuff. I haven't been looking. Should
I
we
haven't
look?
been looking either. We probably should.
Okay, let's make that a segment next week. We go
Yes,
through like
we'll read
all
a
the
comment.
first 8 episodes
Yes.
and see if anyone has still left us any comments.
Perfect. I love that.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I'm Paul. I'm here with Joe. Thank you.
Yes.
If you've made it this far, you are a close personal friend of the Power Rankings, guys, and we appreciate you and we love you, and we will see you next week.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Everybody.